Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Lately Fashionable. Happy July. I hope your June was restful and relaxing. Mine was not. But anyway. We're here to talk about my monthly UFO project, where every month I draw a number and I pick that corresponding box to try to finish that UFO or unfinished object during the next month. I've been doing pretty well so far. You can see there are lots of check marks on my lovely post-it notes. A couple of them are not entirely finished, but partially finished. And I count that as a win. Sometimes I have to take the wins where I can get them. Anyway, we're here to talk about June, so let's go back in time 3 days to when I first started working on this project. Okay, so it's June 27th. I should probably get started on June's UFO. I've been very busy with other things, but hopefully this one will go quick. Wish me luck. Okay. So, I have all the pieces already cut out. I just need to sew them together. As a reminder, we are making the halter bodice of this dress pattern. Just the top, because that's all I have fabric for. This was such a small scrap of linen that I cut this from. I don't think I had any usable pieces left after I cut this out, who are all just tiny little scraps. But anyway, I do plan to make this full dress eventually, so this is also kind of serving as a wearable mock-up. That's just what I do. Can't help it. So let's see. Got the back, side back, midriff front, upper front, and then the strap. Looks pretty straightforward. Oh, you can't see any of that. There we go. Yeah, that's totally doable. Wants me to line these pieces, which makes sense. I didn't cut a lining, so gonna search through my fabric and see what I have. Well, that was easy. Wow. I think these might have been in my mom's fabric stash. Who remembers Ben Franklin? I used to go shopping there all the time. Each of these is 1/3 of a yard. I will probably need 2. We'll see. I should wash these before I use them, in case they want to shrink on me. I know I have washed the linen because it has an overlocked edge. Whenever I get new fabric, before it goes officially into my fabric stash, I will wash it. So if it has an overlocked edge, that means it's been washed and dried. And therefore it shouldn't shrink more when I make a garment from it and then wash that garment. These do not have an overlocked edge, so they have not been washed. It's annoying. I want to start this right now. Since I was going to need to do laundry anyway, I searched my fabric shelf for additional unwashed fabrics to add to the load. I found several more Ben Franklin remnants, as well as some random pieces of quilting cotton. Then I set to work overlocking all of the raw edges. Sometimes I use my serger for this, depending on the fabric and how easily it frays. All these nice stable cottons will do just fine with a simple overlock stitch. that took forever. Now I am very warm. I'm resisting putting my hair up because it looks really good today. Anyway, since I can't work on this, I'm going to work on something else for a while. So if you see me in a future video in this same outfit, that's where I ended up. So I'll see you then. I am very intrigued by the pricing on these. They were clearly sold as remnants, and they seem to all have been purchased in threes, and they're mostly all 1/3 of a yard, so you would have a full yard of the fabric, but in 3 pieces. Although a couple of them are actually 1/4 yard. These are the cheapest too. And some of them are so old that the tape is literally disintegrating. Okay, I'm back. I have washed and pressed my fabric remnants. I just took them straight out of the washing machine and pressed them dry so that they would not be wrinkled at all. And now I'm ready to cut out my lining. I did read the instructions, but I did not necessarily follow them in the exact order that they said to do each step. I prefer to batch like steps together, so here you see me sewing a bunch of seams, half of which are listed much later in the construction order. Then I also batch ironed all of the seams. Then I overlocked most of the raw edges of the linen, because although it is going to be lined, I did not want the rather coarsely woven linen to fray into the interior of the garment. This can happen with repeated washings, so it's something I try to avoid. Reading the pattern instructions can be such a revelation. For instance, I just found out that there's going to be boning at the side back seams, which conveniently, the casing is just formed by stitching down the seam allowance on the back. And for boning, we're going to use zip ties, of course. Do you remember how in my sleeve shenanigans video, I mentioned not wanting to gather 2 layers of fabric together? Yeah, this was not fun. At least it was a small area. Okay, I have a bodice front. It's looking pretty good. Now I need to attach the backs. No, the strap and then the backs. I'm sorry I'm not really filming much of this. I'm finding this project to be very boring, both to sew and to film. And in fact, I keep having to break off and work on other projects in between because this is just not keeping my brain engaged. And when my brain is not engaged by the current sewing project, I tend to just sit and watch YouTube videos on my phone and not actually get anything done. So the procrastinating, distraction, other project sewing is at least productive. Unfortunately, that does mean I'm not progressing as quickly on this project as I want to be. I still have 2 days to finish it before the end of the month. I want it to be done. I don't want to do it. Okay, anyway, I am getting tired. And I'm probably going to stop here for the night. I might work on one more thing, but not in this video, so I'll see you tomorrow. So I did entirely stop filming after that, and I apologize. I finished everything off camera, but I have a good reason. So right outside the door of my studio is this big bush of coral honeysuckle, and the last couple days I've been noticing hummingbirds visiting the flowers. And so the whole time I was sewing yesterday afternoon, I had my camera set up on the honeysuckle in half-hour increments, partially because my camera shuts off after half an hour of filming, and partially because it was very hot and I didn't want the poor electronics to get overheated. I think about 3 hours total I had the camera out there in sections, half hour at a time, and I got a total of 23 seconds of hummingbird footage. So I will share that with you now. Enjoy. So like I said, my camera was otherwise occupied while I was sewing. Also, it was very hot and I did not feel like making myself presentable enough to be on camera, so there's just no footage of me finishing this. And that's okay. It's fine. It's done. See, here it is. It has some problems. Well, I should say it had some problems. I have more or less mitigated all of those problems, which I will share with you now. So right away, you will notice, when looking at the back, that the buttons are very strangely positioned, and that is because it does not line up straight like this. It's too small at the waist and too big at the bust, so instead of doing the straight up and down buttons like I should have, I angled them and just left a gap so that it fits at the top, which is important, and then just left it with a gap at the bottom, which I think could be kind of cute. The other thing was that the neckline, when I was wearing it, was kind of doing this, and to fix that, I actually unpicked about 1.5 inches down where this front piece meets the neckband, and I just scooched it in. I actually cut off this much seam allowance, so it was, you know, that much bigger, if that makes sense. So obviously there are some fit issues that I will need to address when I make the dress that I'm planning to make from this pattern. So it's good I did a mock-up. I did the hem kind of a funny way, because usually with a lined garment like this, I would just turn the whole thing inside out, sew the hem, and then flip it. But I couldn't do that because this seam is sandwiching the front in between the back and the back lining. So there's a seam here that I couldn't, you know, turn it inside out. So I just used some seam binding, hem tape that I have in my stash, and that worked just fine. I did let out the side seams as much as I could at the bottom. I did not let out these seams because I had already put the boning in, and it was going to be way too much of a pain to take that out just to get a little 1/2 inch extra. So that's why it's doing this. So I will make adjustments to the fit of the pattern, both in the back panels and in the front where it attaches to the halter strap, so that it will fit me better. Because when I have it as a dress, obviously it's going to need to close at the waist because there will be a skirt attached. So I will really want it to be straight up and down, and I will probably do a zipper, even though I hate zippers. The other thing was that the strap, because I used such thick linen, and it's 2 layers, so that means 4 layers with the seam allowance. It's so thick here. I did not want to try to get a buttonhole in this strap, so I just sewed the button through both layers and it goes on over my head. So I don't need it to unbutton. And yes, these buttons do not match each other, but I don't care. Let's see it on. And here it is. I think it's fine. I wish the fit was a little better. If I've learned one thing from doing this UFO challenge so far, it's that I don't want to ever sew another laundry basket. But if I've learned two things from this UFO challenge, it's that halter tops are really hard to fit. And I'm not sure I like them enough for the effort to be worthwhile. I do really like the blue floral halter top that I made last month. It does still need some tweaks in the fit, but also I only have one strapless bra. It's the one I'm wearing now. It's actually a strapless low back bustier style with lots of boning, and it's not super comfortable to wear all day, and it's not the most comfortable thing to wear in the summer when you want your clothes to be breezy and airy and not close to your body. So that kind of defeats the purpose of a halter top in the first place. I think the moral of the story is I just need a better strapless bra. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. It does have to be low back because I want to like halter tops. I just don't know that I do. Anyway, oh, I have to draw the number for next month. Let's not forget. First, we are going to check this one off. It is done. It is wearable. Okay. We're halfway through the year. Can you believe it? 6 done, 6 to go. Okay. 10. Oh, okay. So this is a slip, a bias cut, potentially lace edged, silky slip that I cut out from what's actually lining fabric. I'm not going to model this one on camera, so to give you something to see, I have also put in this yellow slip dress that I started making. So I'm going to have 2 garments. That's the idea. And I'll at least be able to model one of them. The other one will just be for me and my husband. I'm glad it's something small because July is going to be busy. Well, that's all I have for you this month. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a like, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. And I will see you in the next one, which I hope to be next Thursday. I'm really trying to keep to a once-a-week upload schedule. This is a Wednesday because it's the 1st, but typically I upload on Thursdays. So far I have been avoiding actually saying see you next Thursday because I don't want to jinx myself. And no, next week's video is not yet finished, neither the project nor the editing. So I may see you next Thursday. Here's hoping. Bye. What's in box number 10? Why do I always do that? I'm not sure I got a thumbnail image yet, so this one's gonna be full of spoilers.